The account of Jacob wrestling with the angel is found in Genesis chapter 32 verses 22 to 32 and referenced elsewhere in Hosea chapter 12 verse 4. The account includes the renaming of Jacob as Israel, literally, he who struggles with God. The being with which Jacob wrestles is variously described as an angel, a man, or God. Jacob asks the being his name, and while he doesn't receive an answer, Jacob names the place where they wrestled Peniel, a Penuel, a Phanuel. The event occurs during Jacob's journey back to Canaan. Biblical text. The Masoretic text reads as follows: The same night he arose and took his 2 wives, his 2 female servants, and his 11 children, and crossed the ford of the Jabbok. He took them and sent them across the stream, and everything else that he had. And Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him until the breaking of the day. When the man saw that he did not prevail against Jacob, he touched his hip socket, and Jacob's hip was put out of joint as he wrestled with him. Then he said, Let me go, for the day has broken. But Jacob said, I will not let you go unless you bless me. And he said to him, What is your name? And he said, Jacob. Then he said, Your name shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel, for you have striven with God and with men, and have prevailed. Then Jacob asked him, Please tell me your name. But he said, Why is it that you ask my name? And there he blessed him. So Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, saying, For I have seen God face to face, and yet my life has been delivered. The sun rose upon him as he passed Penuel, limping because of his hip. Therefore to this day the people of Israel do not eat the sinew of the thigh that is on the hip socket, because he touched the socket of Jacob's hip on the sinew of the thigh. The account contains several plays on the meaning of Hebrew names, Peniel, Israel, as well as similarity to the root of Jacob's name and its compound. The limping of Jacob may mirror the name of the river, Jabbok, and Maimonides gives the etymology, one who walks crookedly, for the name Jacob. Talmud and Targums and Christian versions. Initially in 32 to 24 Jacob wrestles with a man, but after the man's reply Jacob calls the name of the place Peniel, saying, For I have seen God face to face. Talmud, Targum, Syriac, Peshitta, and Vulgate render God here angel. Interpretations. Among Christian interpreters, this incident is sometimes thought to be a Christophany. J. Douglas Macmillan suggests that the angel with whom Jacob wrestles is a pre-incarnation appearance of Christ in the form of a man. In arts, visual arts, one of the oldest visual depictions is in the illustrated manuscript, the Vienna Genesis. Many artists have depicted the scene. In sculpture, Jacob wrestling with the angel is the subject of a 1940 sculpture by Sir Jacob Epstein on display at the Tate Britain. Paintings include, in music, the Latin text of Genesis chapter 32 verse 30, Vidi dominum facie ad faciem, a salva facta est anima mea, was set for the third nocturne at Matins on the second Sunday of Lent and was a popular medieval telling of the story of Jacob's encounter with the angel. It is set as the tenor text of Macat's multitext Laird Motet No. 15 Vidi Dominum simultaneously with 2 secular French texts, Faux semblant Madecu, and Amours qui ha le pouvoir. Macat musically contrasts God's blessing in the Latin text with the disappointments of secular love in the French texts. Charles Wesley's hymn Come, O Thou Traveller Unknown, often known as Wrestling Jacob, is based on the passage which describes Jacob wrestling with an angel. It is traditionally sung to the tune of St. Petersburg. In literature and theatre, the motif of wrestling with the angels occurs in several novels, including Hermann Hesse's Damien Dodie Smith's I Captured the Castle, Margaret Lawrence's The Stone Angel. In poetry, in poems including Rainer Maria Rilke's The Man Watching, and Emily Dickinson's poem A Little East of Jordan. In theatre, wrestling with the angel is mentioned in Tony Kushner's play Angels in America. The version depicted on screen was the 1865 version by Alexander Louis Leloir. Gustave Doré's images reenacted in Jean-Luc Godard's Passion by a film extra dressed as an angel, and Jerzy Radziwiłłowicz. Also Maud Hart Lovelace's Betsy's Wedding, Sheila Hattie's novel How Should a Person Be, and David Fenario's play Balkanville. In popular culture, references in popular culture include mentions in U2's song Bullet the Blue Sky on the Joshua Tree, Warren Zevon's song My Ride's Here on My Ride's Here, Switchfoot's song 24 on The Beautiful Letdown, Chance the Rapper's song Israel, Angels in America, House of Heroes, In the Valley of the Dying Sun, On the End Is Not the End. There is a point in the movie Here Comes the Boom where the lead character's MMA coach refers to this story as Jacob wrestled with God all night, with a dislocated hip and won his respect, and Suzanne Vega's Jacob and the Angel.